Okay, so hi everyone. In this video, I am going to be proving the quadratic formula. You don't have to memorize how to do this. If you do, I'm sorry. Because in college algebra, when I was in college algebra, they didn't really have us memorize this, but he did teach us how to, like, the proof of it. And I think that it's something that everybody should kind of be taught, because sometimes, like when I was in high school and I did quadratic equations with the quadratic formula, I've always wondered where it actually came from and how, and nobody ever actually taught me how it came from the standard form of an equation. So that's why I'm making this video, so that for those of you who are wondering how it's actually done, y'all can actually look at it. So let's see here. So the first thing that you're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and divide by a on both sides. So that's the first step. Divide both sides by a. So then that'll give us x squared plus b over ax plus c over a equals 0. And then the second thing would be subtract b over a, or c over a from both sides. Okay. And then, so you subtract c over a from both sides, minus c over a. Sorry if my voice sounds kind of dry. The thing is that my throat is kind of dry right now. So then we have x squared plus b over a x equals negative c over a. One of the things that you have to do, though, about this is that you have to say x squared plus b over ax plus blank equals negative c over a plus blank, because you want to complete the square. To get the third term, we're going to go ahead and, so we're going to say that this here is going to equal b over a x over 2 squared. This is b x over a over 2 squared, which is bx squared, or excuse me, not b over ax. It's going to be b over a, sorry. b over a over 2 squared, because it's basically your second term over 2 quantities squared. That's going to be your third term. And so then what you would do is you would say b over a over 2 squared, which is equal to b over a times 1 over 2 squared, which is equal to b over 2a quantities squared, which is b squared over 4a squared. So that's our third term, b squared over 4a squared. We're going to add it to both sides. that. It's b over a x plus b squared over 4a squared is equal to negative c over a plus b squared over 4a squared. So I know that I have not taught you guys how to actually add rational functions yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that myself. The way that you would do it is you just have to get the same denominator. It's just like adding fractions. So here, if you want to add so you would say times 4a on both sides, on top and bottom, and then you would say this is x squared plus b over ax plus b squared over 4a squared. This is what it's equal to, and you would say this is, so then it would be x squared plus b over ax plus b squared over 4a squared equals negative 4ac over 4a squared plus b squared over 4a squared. And then you would say, well, this is, you can take the perfect square of this, and you can say that this is equal to the quantity x plus b over 2a quantity squared is equal to let's see here. Oh, yeah, it's equal to b squared. So basically, you have negative 4ac plus b squared over 4a squared. This can be rearranged. This term here can be rearranged as b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. Okay, so then we can say that x plus b over 2a quantity squared equals b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. Okay. The last thing that you have to do is you have to take the square root of both sides. Okay. Or not the last thing, but you have to take the square root of both sides next, and then you say x plus b over 2a equals plus or minus. Remember to always take the plus or minus square root. Plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. This is x plus b over 2a equals plus or minus the square root of, or it would be plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over the square root of 4a squared, which is x plus b over 2a equals plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, and we know that the square root of 4 is 2, and we already have the plus or minus, so that we don't need it, because we already have it here. I mean, it is plus or minus 2, but we already have the plus or minus, so we don't need that. The square root of a squared is just a, so we're going to say that the square root of 4a squared equals 2a. So we have 2a over here. And then finally, we can say minus b over 2a on both sides. And we can say x equals negative b over 2a plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And if we just bring it together as a fraction, because they have the same denominator, we can say that x is negative b plus or minus the square root of the quantity b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And that is how you actually prove the quadratic equation, or the quadratic formula, excuse me. So this is just to inform you guys. You don't have to necessarily know how this is all done. This is just for those of you who don't understand like why we use this and why we use this formula for solving quadratic equations. The reason why we use this formula is because not every equation, I mean, we can use other forms, but this is like, some people like doing it this way, and it's the easiest for them. Like, I like doing it this way. So, especially for those really, really hard equations that, you know, those hard quadratic equations that don't have such a clean solution. So, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this kind of helped, and I hope you learned something new. And in the next video, I might do more trig identities, and I might also do some practice with quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. So stay tuned, guys, and please like, comment, and or subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.